Am I the a-hole for no longer meal prepping portions for my wife? My 26 male wife, 25 female, and I are newly married, and we have lived together for a year. We get along well, and I can count on one hand how many times we've actually argued about something consequential, obviously excluding joke arguments. Now, ever since I graduated high school, I have been super into meal prep. Every 3 to 4 days, I'll cook up several different dishes. My favorites are curries, stews, burrito kits, healthy McChickens, and the like. I also make a pretty mean jambalaya. Last week, my wife came home after work talking about a restaurant she had discovered near her workplace. I asked how she had learned about it, and she said she and her coworkers went there for lunch. This confused me, as I had sent her to work with a packed lunch, but I just figured she had left it in the fridge there. The next morning, though, I saw her take one of the containers out of the fridge. I reminded her that she went out to lunch the previous day with her coworkers and therefore should still have lunch in her work fridge, but she nonchalantly responded, "Oh, I threw that out." I pressed her for details, where I learned several things. First, she goes out to lunch with her coworkers 3 or 4 times a week. Second, whenever she goes out with them, she just tosses the food I made into the trash. Third, she doesn't seem to understand why throwing out what has amounted to hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars of foods is bad. So I asked her why she wouldn't just bring the food home or eat it the next day. She said, "Nah, I don't want to do that." My feelings were honestly hurt, but she had to go, so the conversation ended there. That night, I tried to raise the issue again, but all I could get out of her was the same spiel about not wanting to bring the food back home and it not mattering all that much. Well, the next day was a meal prep day, and I didn't make any for her. I put my name on all the containers. The next morning, she opened the fridge looking for hers, and she asked where it was. I told her that she had a higher than 50% chance of just tossing it anyway, and that I wasn't going to make lunch for her anymore. She was furious with me. She insists that what she did was no big deal, and one day she even took one of the containers with my name on it. Am I the a-hole for just cutting her off like this? Am I the a-hole for having a reaction to my husband's memorabilia? My husband and I have been together for 9 years and married for 2. It's not his first marriage, and he has 2 kids with his ex-wife. They had a nasty divorce, and he claims to dislike her as a human being and can't stand being in the same room as her, but tolerates it due to having to co-parent. He was and still is a good father and tries to see the kids at least 4 times a week at his ex's house, and is present at their school activities where she'll sometimes be. Point is, her person is still very much present in his life. He's kept digital albums of their wedding and when they were dating and their early marriage, etc. on Facebook public well into our relationship 4 to 5 years, despite me telling him I was not comfortable with this, and only made them private just before our marriage. Recently, I found his old wedding ring that used to live in his desk drawer after we got together, in his wallet coin compartment. I asked him why, and he said no reason. I didn't probe further because I didn't want to start a fight, but can't help feeling a sense of WTF building. Am I overreacting, or is it normal to keep stuff like that? To clarify, he is not a sentimental man and doesn't have keepsakes from other past relationships or even his childhood. Edit. I just asked him about it in a non-confrontational way, and he got all defensive about how it's never moved and it's been in his wallet the whole time. I know this to be false because I've seen it in his top desk drawer in the last 2 places we moved into because I packed the whole house myself. I then said, "Okay, humor me and tell me why it's in your wallet," and he said it's part of my memories and it's in the wallet instead of back of a cupboard because I don't want to lose track of it. I'm not sure what to make of this because he is adamant.